Hello, the purpose of this video is that we are going to be showing a new feature in the FS4500 DisplayPort protocol analyzer for Type-C interposers, which is called USB-C power delivery listing. So in my setup right here, we have a laptop that is our source. We have a Type-C cable going into an interposer, and then we have another Type-C cable coming out and going into our sink, which is just a Type-C monitor. And so what we're going to do is we are going to set this for aux, and we're going to make sure the settings are correct. And so I have a Type-C repeater set as my interposer. I know I'm in 4 lanes. I know that this is the speed that I am running at. And so now that those are good, we can go to our aux trigger, and we will just drag this guy all the way over and set this guy for an ACK. At this point, we can run and trigger, and I'm going to unplug and plug back in the cable. And so we'll see a blip from the laptop a little bit, like that. Yep, right there. And the image should be coming up with the penguins again. And our aux did trigger. And so we can stop because all the aux data has been transmitted. And so now we can go to the aux listing. And in the aux listing, I'll widen this a bit. In the aux listing, we can go to listing, add listing, and select USB listing. And so what this screen is that this is all of the USB power down messages that came across the CC line when I unplugged the Type-C cable and then plugged it back in. And so every little message here on the top level here, these are decodes that are from the message header. And so what this one is, this is for us, this is really just like, so this is like the first message, this is the second message, this is the third message, and so on. This time is the time ticks of when that message was seen by the hardware, the start of packet symbol, the number of data objects that were found in the message, the actual message type itself, and for vendor defined messages, I include what that message was right below that, the port power and the port data, and we have the actual raw CC data where it's most significant to least significant. And so how to read this is that this 108F, this is the message header bits, and it is from most significant on the message header to the least significant. So the message type is this F and then a 0 because the fourth bit would be low. And then if I was to expand this, we can see the data here. This guy is the data object bits, and it's the most significant to the least significant with all of that decoded in each of the various fields. If we scroll down a little bit, like we'll see here for this discover identity with 4 data objects, this would be the message header, and this would be a data object. That would be the second data object. That would be the third data object, and this would be the fourth data object. And we can expand that as well to see what each of those data objects are. And so there's our first one. Here's the second one. And then we have the next 2. And we can see in the decode here that this discover identity was an acknowledge. And so if I look up here and I see another Discover identity, I can see that this guy is a request right here. And if I scroll all the way to the bottom, I'll see where my attention guy is, my attention command. And if I expand my attention command, this is where I see that the HPD itself was set high. And this attention command comes after DisplayPort status update, which we see right here. On the far left, these are filtering options over here. And so if I check the boxes, then they will be filtered out of the listing. So if I check all of these, then they will be all filtered out. And then if I uncheck the vendor defined, now I'm only going to see where the vendor defined messages are. And then I could look for some other control messages as well. Like if I did a good CRC, then I will see where all the good CRC messages are as well. Thanks for listening.